Greetings, lovely people, and welcome to Fast Track Force. Today we're talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, the return of James Gunn as director and just element of the MCU as a whole. I'm very excited. Let's just get into it. Spoilers ahead, of course, for the special. Yeah, let's just jump straight into it. So we open just like we had with the previous Werewolf by Night, with a different, more comic-inspired intro sequence, this one including a bunch of previous Christmas and holiday-themed comics, including a bunch of appearances of Marvel's Santa Claus, who, yes, is a real character that exists in Marvel Comics and is actually a superhero, which does get referenced slightly in the actual special, but we'll get into that. It opens with Fairy Tale of New York, a true classic among Christmas songs, and we also have an animated segment of young Peter and Kraglin making a Christmas tree, wrapping presents, that kind of thing, and Yondu just ain't about it. He says he hates Christmas, he destroys the tree, he just kind of ruins it. He says that gift giving is kind of a bad thing, and that, it's only soft humans, soft earthlings, whatever, Terrans, whatever he calls them, that do stuff like that. And, we jump into live action, and Kraglin is telling this story to the rest of the Guardians, and kind of explaining it as, it is that time of year, it's, the time in the galactic calendar of Earth Christmas, and he thinks that might be why Peter is a little bit down. It's actually that he's just a bit stressed, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Drax finds the story funny, because of course he does, it's Drax, and even Nebula thinks it's a bad event. Like, Nebula of all people is like, Drax, why are you laughing at this? She shakes her head at him laughing at misery, which is, we appreciate Nebula's character development of slowly becoming an empathetic individual. But yeah, they've apparently bought Nowhere from the Collector. So not only did, for one, Nowhere survive the events of Endgame, but now the Guardians own it. Where's the Collector in all this? I don't know. We don't see him. But they bought it off the Collector. Nowhere belongs to the Guardians of the Galaxy now. That is crazy to think about. But, Cosmo is officially part of the Guardians now. He's using telekinesis to build some structures and stuff like that. Rocket mocks him a little bit, but ends up giving him a treat. Like an actual dog treat. And also Cosmo is able to talk using the little voice box. Not the same as how Cosmo talks in the comics. Talking dog is not really a thing in the MCU, unless you're a dog person. Which, have we actually seen that? Side tangents aside, we have a rock song about not understanding Christmas, performed in front of Quill, to Peter, essentially to kind of say, is this Christmas song actually a good song about Christmas? And there's a lot of very funny lines. I'm not going to spoil it here. I really think that it's worth listening to, even if you're not going to watch the entire special. It's a really, really funny song, and it goes hard. It's really good. I honestly, it may go on my Christmas playlist if I had a Christmas playlist. It's just really funny. And through this, we also see Groot in his current form. He's big. He's very big. He's bulky, which is weird because as an adult in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Volume 1, he's tall and lanky, whereas he's about, he's probably around 6 foot, because every male in, the Marvel Universe is about 6 foot. And he's not lanky, he's like buff. He's really wide, and I don't know if I like it. He kind of looks like properly a costume, and I think he actually is a practical suit in this film. I don't know if I like it. It looks kind of wrong to me, but I mean, as time goes on, I might get used to it, or maybe I won't. It seems so out of line with every incarnation of Groot we've had, but that's not the point anyway. Moving on. We are given the information that Mantis is Quill's sister, and this was something theorized all the way back in Volume 2, just based on the fact that it was very likely Mantis was the daughter of Ego, just not explicitly said. But no, Mantis is in fact Peter's sister, half-sister, whatever you want to say. Biologically, they share a parent. And because of that, she feels the need to make Peter feel happy about Christmas, kind of save Christmas for him. So plans to give Peter a great present. Kevin Bacon. No, that's not a joke. Well, it is a joke, but that is actually the plan. The plan is to kidnap Kevin Bacon and give Kevin Bacon to Peter as a Christmas present. I don't know what else to say about that. So Drax forgets to cloak the shield, because yes, they are actually doing this plan. They're flying over Hollywood Hills, and Drax hasn't put the cloaking shield on at first, so a lot of people are just staring at the ship and screaming and running and crying and all that kind of thing. Whenever an alien ship flies over somewhere in the US, everyone panics, both in the MCU and outside of it. And they land around where the Hollywood sign is, and Drax and Mantis explore Hollywood. They walk down Hollywood Boulevard. They get to see all the different costumed buskers, I suppose, including a poor guy who's dressed as Captain America and is just harassed by good old Mantis, thinking that he's actually Steve, which is it's a thing. But they end up taking a bunch of pictures with tourists, just like throughout the day. A lot of tourists are just paying to have pictures taken. One of them makes a God of War reference, probably referencing the PS4 character Kratos, or PlayStation character Kratos, not PS4 specifically, but the character Kratos from the God of War series, which he does look like that. So I mean, fair enough. But it's a funny side joke that's like very easy to miss. I feel it was just like a background character just mentioning it, but I thought that was funny. I thought it was worth mentioning. Mantis gets a lot of money from this, and they end up looking for Kevin Bacon in a bar when it becomes night. YouTuber Flula Borg, I don't know if he still is a YouTuber, but that's how I know him. Flula Borg is the bartender. I know he's been in a lot of stuff, a lot of, like, big budget, like proper productions, but it still shocks me whenever I see him in anything. So yeah, Flula Borg is the bartender. They order whatever the strongest drink is, and yeah, Drax gets hit on by a gay guy, which is a fun scene because obviously Drax doesn't quite understand that's what's happening, but also nothing goes wrong. It actually goes pretty well. But yeah, Mantis gets absolutely wasted, just drinking so much alcohol and just dancing away, and all the kind of generic, comedic characters go to a bar sort of things. And then they are kind of sat on the sidewalk blabbering about how they're never going to find Kevin Bacon. No one knows where Kevin Bacon is, that sort of thing. And then a shop vendor, for like a touristy shop, shows Mantis the map to the stars. At this point, Mantis and Drax don't have any money left, so Mantis just uses her powers to get the map to the stars for free, and then also uses her powers to just have the vendor give her all her money. That's theft, Mantis. That's theft. But yeah, they do find Kevin Bacon by following the map to the stars, and Kevin is like kind to them when they're just like beeping in at his gate and just like, because he's probably just thinking, they're supposed to be fans or whatever, which makes a lot of sense. He doesn't let them in though, obviously. He wouldn't. And then Drax ends up throwing Mantis over the gate and then gently jumping over himself, which is a very funny little scene. Drax steals an inflatable elf and Mantis takes a decorative giant candy cane. And they start knocking on the door and ringing the doorbell, like actually the proper doorbell. And Kevin just asks them to leave. And says that he'll call the police if they don't. And then Drax smashes through the door. Kevin calls the police, but he's kind of chased away. He's not able to make the call properly. And Drax, in the chase, drops the elf, wants to go back and get it, decides not to, because he doesn't want to upset Mantis too much. Drax gets shot by police, and it just tickles him. Mantis then just, like, kung fu, Black Widows all over some police, makes them sleep, as she does. And Drax ends up flipping a police car. Fortunately, the two officers that were in the car aren't harmed. They're just stuck. Not in like a a bad way, just that they're upside down in a flipped car. That is a bad way, but you know what I mean. In terms of MCU trapped under a car logic, they're in a good place. They're not hurt. They're fine. And Mantis gives the police officers the candy cane as like an apology or like a sign of peace. But then just continues following Kevin. Mantis makes Kevin want to go with them, because otherwise he'll just keep running away. And before they set off, they raid a Christmas shop. I don't know whether... It's not shown, so I don't know if they steal things. I don't know if they manage to buy things. I don't know what they do, but they raid a Christmas shop in some way, have a ton of Christmas decorations in the ship, and Kevin actually does kind of the right thing, even though he's kind of brainwashed, and tells them about his, the truth of his heroism. He didn't really, in reality, save a town by dancing, or kill Jason, or anything like that. That was a character he played. He's very clear that he's like, no, he's an actor. Those were parts. Those were things that he did kind of, like, pretending. Which kind of disgusts Mantis and Drax. They think actors are terrible, which is very funny. And they basically make it so that Kevin has to pretend to be a hero, or act to be a hero. She uses her powers on him to make him be a hero. And we find out that Kevin Bacon apparently considers World War II British soldiers to be like the true heroes, which is interesting. Not an American soldier, a British soldier specifically. Not judging, I'm just confused of World War II, if I didn't mention that already. And Mantis basically says, no, just be you, but cool. And he makes a joke about how that would typically offend him, but he's just feeling so good because he's obviously in a trance. They surprise Peter with Christmas. They have all decorations. All the Guardians have helped. And, in fact, everyone on Nowhere apparently has helped put up the decorations and, make music happen and all that kind of stuff. And, Peter's really excited until Groot rolls out a present for him that is moving. And then eventually starts talking, complaining that it's difficult to breathe in there. So obviously Peter opens the box, finds Kevin Bacon there, and freaks out. Kevin is actually freed by Peter's command. Mantis frees him from the trance, and just kind of freaks out in fear, runs away. Peter does try and calm him down. It doesn't work though, obviously, because Rocket exists and Groot exists, and not Mantis, sorry, Nebula points a gun at him and stuff. It's a lot. And he quite rightly freaks out completely. They do manage to catch him. It's not shown on screen, but fortunately they don't hurt him or anything, and they manage to calm him down. Probably a mixture of Kraglin and and Peter probably calm him down, to be fair, because they're the human quote-unquote ones. Even though one's a Celestial and the other one's whatever Kraglin is. I don't know what he is, because we don't know where he's from, I don't think. It doesn't really matter. Kraglin is going to take Kevin home on the ship. They're just chatting a little bit, and Kraglin kind of explains how the reason why they took Kevin in the first place is because he means so much to Peter. He's such an important figure in Peter's eyes, in Peter's life, because it's one of the few things that he's able to hold on to and tell stories about from Earth, from his true life before he became a marauder. And Kevin decides to stay. He ends up doing a little performance of All I Want Is You for Christmas. I don't know if that's a song that Kevin made originally. I don't know if that's a reference to something. I don't know if it's an original song. I've never heard it before. I didn't look it up because I don't really care. It was an okay song. But it was basically a backdrop to some really fun little things. Peter gives Groot a Game Boy. Nebula gives Rocket Bucky's arm, the Winter Soldier arm, not the old one with the Russian symbol on it. Not that one. No. Nebula has somehow gotten the vibranium arm of the White Wolf and gives it to Rocket. I need an explanation quickly, because we've seen that arm recently in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That arm was in use. Whatever, anyway. Maybe it's a replica, but yeah, no, Rocket apparently has Bucky's arm. How did that happen? I don't know. When did Nebula find the time to do this? I don't know. But in any case, I love Nebula and Rocket's whole like friendship thing. It's very cute. I do appreciate it. Cosmo gives Kraglin some sort of alien rat wrapped in a bow. Yeah. Mantis gives Drax an inflatable elf. I think it's the same one that he tries to steal. Maybe not the exact same one, but it's the same type as what he tried to steal, which is very cool. Groot gives everyone like wooden models of the events of the film, which is really cool. It's like there's little chase scenes and Drax flipping a car and stuff. And the funniest one is Kraglin gets given a wooden model of himself holding the wooden model of himself, holding the wooden model of himself, etc., etc. It's very, very. I enjoyed that as a joke, and yeah, it all kind of ends with Nebula realizing that not all actors are bad, which that's the moral of the story at the end of the day. But yeah, we do return though to the animation with what the conclusion of that story that Kraglin obviously just didn't know is. And that is Yondu does actually end up opening the presents that have been thrown away from Peter. It's a little figurine, a little toy of some description, just like, the troll doll and stuff. And in return, he gives Peter his blasters, the iconic dual-wield, I don't know what they're actually called, but the dual-wield blasters that Star-Lord uses, like, you know what I'm on about. Which is a really cute conclusion to that story, because Yondu isn't a careless person. He never was. He acted like it. He pretended he was, but he always cared, especially about Peter. And it's very nice that they continue that, especially after the events of Volume 2. And it goes back to live action. Mantis admits she's Peter's sister. Peter is like, that's the greatest gift I could ever have for Christmas, which is really sweet once again. Just passing on the love, essentially. It's very nice. And it ends with a little animated segment of Peter and Yondu flying off as captain and first mate. Just kind of flying off into the stars as, equals or, captain and someone slightly below captain. And, yeah, that's just very, very fun. We do have a post-credits scene of Rocket and Cosmo decorating Groot like a Christmas tree. And when Groot kind of messes up the decorations that have been wrapped around him, there is a joke made by Rocket of, great, you've ruined Christmas again, now we have to make another special. But yeah, that is the entirety of the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, and it's really good. I'm so happy that James Gunn was rehired, that he's back to doing this. It makes me even more excited for Volume 3, which I believe is either coming out next year or very early the year after. I was already looking forward to that one. It's probably other than like Fantastic Four, is probably the one that I'm most looking forward to in the upcoming slate. I am really excited now after seeing this, after seeing that the Guardians are back and as good as ever. Honestly, it is a little bit cringy in times. The whole Kevin Bacon thing is a bit stupid, but it's enjoyable. It's really fun, and I'm someone who isn't all that into like Christmas content in general or holiday content in general, unless it's like Halloween related. I do really like Halloween content, but yeah, it's very cool to have a holiday special in the MCU that's canon, or maybe it isn't because of the whole Bucky arm thing. The Bucky arm thing is going to stick with me, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. I don't typically give ratings in thoughts, but seeing as this is technically a movie rather than like a show like a normal cover or a single episode or something like a normal cover, I'd honestly give it maybe an 8 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10, maybe. I don't know, somewhere in that like 4.5 star range, which, if you know anything about my rating system, you know that is very good. I'll definitely be watching this again. I've got a few people I'll definitely be watching this with, getting their sort of opinions. And if you do want to know what my ratings are for any content, whether it's this or other things, you can always check out in the description below is the link to my what's it even called? My Letterboxd. Letterboxd is where I review everything I watch in terms of movies and some shows, not every show, but some shows. The shows that are on there, basically. But yeah, I really enjoyed this holiday special. It's far better than the Star Wars holiday special, that's for sure. But yeah, that is really everything that I have to say. So without further ado, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like it, subscribe if you're new here, and ring that bell so you never miss an upload. Otherwise, I guess I'll see you in a few months when I make my next video, because this channel is pretty much dead. But yeah, otherwise it's going to be from me, and yeah, bye.
It's been a long week. I feel like I could use a vacation.